Hey guys, I'm gonna give it just a second. While Instagram is telling you we're here. It's been a long time since I have done a live video. I don't even know if people watch live videos anymore, but we're gonna do one because if you've been paying attention to my page, I've talked a little bit about Joy, and I've talked about the company that she is launching here. The name is Mai, and you saw was it Friday? I posted that mug that I know you guys love that says "fuck this shit." And I got that at Hey Y'all before they closed, and I bought a bunch of them to give them away as gifts. Anyways, Joy, well, I'm gonna tell you more in a minute about my shop, but I've talked about it a little bit. So today I'm kind of interviewing her. We're gonna do a little Q&A, probably a little laughter, and talk about like, why is there a shop on my page? What's happening? What is she actually doing with this company? So what was so crazy last week is that I know I shared later that people actually bought the mugs, which I didn't expect.
They bought 6 of them, I think, very quickly.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes after I posted, and I think my page really is a beta page to practice and test things. I wouldn't be a candidate for the main program that she's built, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So I just wanted to say hey, tell you guys what we're doing. I just wanted to bring you guys along for the ride today. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Okay, so hi.
Hi.
Okay, so Joy and we met through a friend who introduced us, and we both knew so little about each other. But in our first meeting, I was really excited and really impressed about the little bit that you had to say about what you were building with Mai and what you have already built before, and then bringing it here to the US. And part of the reason why I was so excited about that is, yes, I have a small micro-influencer page that's very local in my town and that's really engaged, but I work with influencers all the time. Oftentimes I'm matching them to small businesses to do promotions, sell product, maybe a giveaway. And so through doing that the last couple of years, I've learned so much about how to work with influencers, both high level and micro, how they think, how they work. And one of the things that has really fascinated me is so many of them don't actually know that they can monetize what they have, or they're monetizing in a way where they're working so hard for so little. And so I've probably spent the past 2 years, there's a number of people close to me that know that this is something I'm really passionate about. So when you were introduced to me and you started talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody has a solution to what I feel is an untapped market, lack of education that's needed, and so many other things. And that was just in our first meeting. But since then, you guys created a shop for me on my page, which is super special and fun. That's kind of for beta testing and figuring things out. But for me, as a little micro influencer, I just think it was needed for me to figure out, like, how does it work and what happens to build a shop, what questions do I have to answer, right? But in that ended up being even more fun because I got to curate my shop with some of my favorite items, and some of them sold, which was so crazy.
Yes, actually, even before you talk about your products, like someone just start buying.
That's right.
Things
as
in your
soon as
shop.
my store.
Yes.
Yeah.
From I think it was in Miami.
Yeah, it was someone I didn't even know, right? And that was, I think, a big part of that is the shop is Instagram and Facebook. And so I think that particular purchase was one that was seen on Facebook. And we didn't really expect any sales to come. I mean, you guys were definitely more like, you never know what could happen. But I did not expect that at all. And I think the value to me in knowing and working with you is that I think this is really valuable, and I know many people who need it, and I want to be a part of helping that come to life. But on the other end, because I have a shop and there have been sales, it's been really fun to see. And as you know from our conversations, I'm super passionate also about micro-influencers. And so seeing, the community builds trust with them, and they make purchases because they trust them. And I have that situation with my tiny little page, is that people trust me. So actually seeing what I believe is true happening on my own page made it even more exciting.
You didn't even know people will want to buy your things until you have a shop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't give, even when we built it, you had encouraged me to do some things and put some attention to it and share things. And I didn't do that only because it came down low on my priority list, mostly because I didn't think anything would come of it, right? And I feel like mine is such a testimony to that, smaller, up and coming influencer, or what or whatnot. So, but for you, going back, I'm segueing us, but going back to your background is you went to MIT, you've worked on Wall Street, you've helped build huge companies, and you are wildly good at tech. So what encouraged you, or what called to you? How did you end up here building this thing for influencers and influencer marketing?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting story. So initially I was doing, very techy finance things. Yes. And I was, making that nanosecond trades happen. Every day we make thousands of trades in the financial market using algorithms. So I wrote programs and it will automatically buy and sell in the financial market. But as a girl, my hobby is shopping. So as always, and before internet existed, I would already read all these magazines, and then I was following all the influencers. And I always curious, hey, where did you buy that thing? And it's been forever my pain point. I was making money, so I have the money to buy things, but when the beautiful content is there, the product is not tagged. And actually on Instagram, in the past, they don't actually let you put a link there because the link would not be clickable unless it's in your profile link. So it was a pain point for everybody. So so I basically why don't I use, my strength is problem solving in technology. I was like, maybe I can help everyone, if I think of a solution. So I would say in the last 5 years, we have done very successfully. We actually integrated with Asia's Facebook, also Asia's YouTube to make content instantly shoppable. So there's a shopping button right on the content you can click and shop right away. But US is being a little slower than the Asia. I think partially because of COVID and partially because I think in Asian countries people really care about what other people are using a lot more, so the opportunity is even bigger. Yeah. So in the US now, things have picked up. We sing from Instagram's buy button. They launched, I don't even know how many years ago. It's 7 to 10 years ago they launched the buy button, but it was never wildly successful compared to TikTok in China. TikTok launched the native shop button in China. This is many years ago, and their revenue was already 1/3 of Alibaba after just a few years of launching. So now, me being the tech world, I constantly hear, all these discussion, who's gonna win the e-commerce game in the US? Is that Facebook? Is that, which is Instagram? Is that TikTok? Or is that Amazon? So everyone, even Amazon now, they're starting to tap into social commerce.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Yeah. Well, and I think for those of you watching, if you don't know, Alibaba is the equivalent, right there, of Amazon here.
Yes.
Right? And so I thought that was so interesting when you told me. So kind of dialing back a little bit is Joy. So when you were talking about in China, that's because this model that you're building and launching here in the US, you've already built and successfully launched in China. Right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say China's social commerce ecosystem was much more established. I would say US is currently we're infant stage. Because just looking at how many influencers on Instagram doesn't even know how to set up their shop.
Yes.
And even more influencers on TikTok in the US doesn't even know how to have a shop. TikTok actually have a 90-day rules. So you have to wait 90 days before your shop is approved. But we are able to kind of skip the line. We can get approved next day because we have a close relationship with both Instagram commerce and also TikTok commerce. So it's very interesting how TikTok commerce in China launched many years ago, and live stream shopping. We're doing live stream right now, but in China, live stream started for shopping. Mm-hmm. I mean, here live stream kind of for the interview purpose.
Right, to chat and tell people things, yeah.
But in China, live stream is made for shopping, where the influencer will talk about, hey, you have to buy things in my live stream session, or
you can't get them.
You will not be able to get this product or get it at a steep discount. So the live stream session is for giving us steep discounts.
Going back a little bit, for those of you who may not understand a social shopping engine, right? So I have a shop on my page, and there's a few other people in town that you've done it with, and you're working with some really high-level influencers to put a shop on their page. Now, I've had the comment said back to me, well, anybody can apply to have a shop on their page, right? And that is true, but there's some major differences with working with right? You can put a shop on your page, like let's say you own a product, right, that you create and make, and maybe it's something to do with pottery. You make mugs or something like that. You have a Shopify store, you can put it on your page, like it's not rocket science. But one of the things that I think is really gold here with what you're doing is you guys have an endless catalog of items that is growing by the day because you have massive partnerships with brands and manufacturers. So for high level influencers, so that's not me, but for high level influencers, a partnership with coming on board, like the 20 that you are onboarding coming up here in the next couple of weeks, they'll get to choose anything that they want from that catalog. And some of them, depending on the level of influencer that they are, can even find something or choose something that you can then make an arrangement maybe to get that item, depending on, if they're gonna sell 500 of them or whatever. But the point is that they get to curate their shop with their favorites, different categories. It could be, if it was mine, Angela's favorite kitchen items, Angela's fashion. And they really get to hand pick the things that they want. And I think that's gold. So that's the part of the model of what you're doing. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so currently there's multiple ways for an influencer to set up their own shop. Either you have your own products, you have a Shopify account yourself, you're willing to go through the effort of dealing with all the fulfillment, returns, and everything, then yes, you can figure it out yourself. But that process is very tedious. We actually have micro-influencers, who is going through a bootcamp with us, and we have we call like the big influencer in our VIP club. Like they just never have time to do all this.
Yeah, it would be possible for them to ship everything. Where it really works to have a shop on your pages, if you are a company that sells something that you make and you're already doing all that shipping. But as an influencer, for influencer marketing, there's not another option. I think that where the questions might be are, isn't this just like to know it? Isn't this just like Amazon? And although it's a similar model, you've really looked at their models over a long period of time, and you've removed obstacles and solved problems. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so influencer can set up, their like to know it links, can do Amazon links, but right now most influencers can only do that, putting a Linktree link in their profile.
Yes.
And then inside Linktree, their followers are being directed to, Amazon or to like to know it. That's the only way for them to be able to get, these commissions from Amazon affiliate or like to know it right now. I mean, I'm talking about big influencers.
Right.
Like
we're talking about millions, right?
Yes, and micro-influencer, a lot of them, I would say 90% of them don't even know about what is Amazon affiliate and what is like to know.
That's so true. In fact, even though my page is such a small following, I applied and was approved to be an Amazon affiliate. And the only reason that I actually did that was, like I said before, I work with high-level influencers, or I partner them with businesses, and so many of them don't know that they can do that or know how. I did it for myself so that I could tell them that when they don't have it. It's really hard for an influencer to work. If you want to work with a brand specifically or something, if you don't have that, you're going to be looked over. But one of the things that you're solving with that is you're taking the brand out of the equation, right? So the influencer, they don't have to watch their analytics, they don't have to ship things, they don't have to
make
have
it super
5
easy.
different like to know at Amazon and anything else. Now they can if they want to, but you're basically getting all of that under one roof. And another part of that I think is gold is the commission split is higher. So there's no other opportunity that has the education, the tech support, the ability on the back end, handling and doing the shipping, and paying the influencer more than they can make with any other partnership.
Totally. I mean, the whole process is very complicated and requires someone quite technical and the patience to go through every single function and apply and wait for the approval. Yeah. So, we have done this so many times, so we can basically handle it all for the influencer. So it's easy for them. All they need to do is just sign up with us and we take care of everything for them. Yeah. So for big influencers who already have Amazon affiliate and like to know it, what we offer is 10 times better than that. Because even if you're an Amazon affiliate, you cannot direct traffic from your post
Right.
to Amazon. You have to go to the Linktree link, and then go to the Amazon affiliate link, and then most Amazon affiliate links, there's no function to search inside an influencer Amazon affiliate.
Okay.
So for example, if an influencer have like hundreds of products loaded to her Amazon affiliate, there's no way for the followers to be like, let me go through each one of them, find out which product was the one she was talking about in the post.
Which is so frustrating.
Yes.
And you just lose them, right? I mean, as a consumer,
Yes.
for me, that's so frustrating. But as an influencer who has learned to monetize and has a platform that warrants sales and monetizing, it's such a loss to them, because we all know you've got a couple seconds to capture that attention, and then they're going to move on and find it later. And that's definitely a massive obstacle
Yes.
with these other platforms.
So I would say the influencer probably losing 90% of potential sales this way.
Yeah.
So what we do is we actually figured out a way. It's our secret sauce, right? Like figured out a way to have influencer to quickly loading all of the Amazon affiliate link that she's been working with, getting commission from, into her Instagram shop or TikTok shop. So these products can be tagged directly on the content. So that is really like see it and shop it right away.
Right. Which is something that really doesn't exist for influencers at any level. It exists for high-level companies, which is what you're experiencing when you're on Instagram and you touch and it goes right to it and you buy it. If you notice, that's not happening on influencer pages. That's happening with companies and brands. What we're talking about is for influencers, in this case right now, for influencers who are approved to be working at the level that makes sense for them to work with you're eliminating that obstacle as one of the many things that you're eliminating.
And also like to know it links, it's compatible with like to know it links too. And also, we have an aggregation database of all these top brands compared to, Instagram affiliate program right now. So there is an Instagram affiliate program, but if you don't have like at least a couple 100,000 followers, chances are you're not approved. But even if you're approved, we know influencers who have Instagram affiliate program. But I have friends in New York and influencers in LA. They are approved by Instagram affiliate program. But if you look at their shop, right, it's almost look the same, because there's only that many brands that Instagram has approved to join the influencer affiliate program. So all of them are selling like, Revolve, Zara, like this, or Adidas, these few, everyone already known brands, which make it seems like not, doesn't make them feel personal. The shop is not personal, it's not special.
Curated,
right.
And I think this is something to really, like, as you guys are listening in, to kind of hone in on for those that are high-level influencers, right? It's when you look at that catalog of the brands, that catalog may be very, very large with some of these other companies, but the types of brands that high-level influencers are actually going to choose to have on their page, that is what we're talking about when it gets limited. And then your shop looks like somebody else's. I think when you work hard with your community, with your page, with your account, to get to a place where you have a brand that is unique, things that you like, things that are special, for your page, for your shop to be the same as somebody else's, your neighbor, another influencer that is doing the same thing you're doing and that you're close with, or somebody across the country, right? It eliminates the ability to really curate and have unique special things, which is another problem that Mai is solving by the catalog that will have endless opportunities to partner, not necessarily where the influencer doesn't have to apply to work with a brand. The influencer has to apply to work with Mai. Mai handles the brand. Mai handles the manufacturer.
Yes.
All that work on the back end. And I personally, when you were talking about tech a few minutes ago, I've personally seen a handful of people on their tech team, and they're a bunch of geniuses solving
We're all
problems.
nerds.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I can tell you right now that none, even, a lot of influencers work with an influencer agency, something like Pollinate, right? And that's a whole different experience. So as you're hearing us talk, when you think about an influencer agency, this isn't that model, right? Where influencer agencies partner with brands that they have partnerships with. Those brands pay a certain amount of money. Let's say they're gonna pay $1,000 per an influencer, right? So they pay that to the company. Then the company finds, through their vast knowledge, appropriate partnerships with influencers who have said what kind of brands they like to work with. That influencer gets paid $250. The company, the agency, gets paid $750, and the brand, the business has paid $1,000. Now, if you're a brand and a business and you need 25, you're going to pay 25 grand for that, right? This is stuff not from but from my work on the back end of working with influencers and companies. So this is not that model. This is about removing the brand, removing the agency, working directly with an influencer who has built a high-level brand, solving problems and allowing them to monetize their content, to sell things that they love to people that trust them, that want to buy it. Mai has created a system where you've basically eliminated obstacles, streamlined, and made things easier. Now, because of all the hard work, time, and money that's been put into this, not everybody is going to be a candidate for VIP Club, right? So talk about what are some of the things where you're a candidate to apply to be part of a VIP Club and have access to the things we're talking about right now.
Sure, yeah. So for the VIP Club, we only have that much time. So for people who already have a successful sales track record, either with Like to Know It or Amazon affiliate or some other, social commerce program. So they have to show us that they have a success track record and they've been posting regularly, and the content have a good taste, right? And then speak to the target demographic. So, and they wanted to make this like a career for themselves, not just like a hobby, I post one post today and then next month I post another.
Right.
Like myself,
right.
I am a hobby influencer. Like I post like once a month and I don't have many followers. That's why I decided I'm going to focus on technology. But the interesting thing is I have a lot of influencer friends.
Yes.
And they all come to me about these problems because I like fashion, I like things with nice lifestyle. So I'm friends with lots of lifestyle influencers, and they're either my personal friends or I work with them in some way before. And previously, we actually also help brands. We did similar things like influencer agency. We help brands to connect with influencers, and we get a cut. But I just feel like it's so boring. It's kind of like
being done,
and it's not helping influencer that much.
Isn't being done.
Yes,
right. It's you've built something where you're solving problems that haven't been solved yet,
right? Exactly.
And in a way that's understandable. Anybody watching this, whether they're an influencer, whether they're a regular person, whether they're own a business, they can understand what we are talking about, and they can go and check. Right, what we're saying.
Exactly. I don't want to be that, little middleman take a cut from things. I want to be the enabler. I want to enable influencers to actually have their own shop, and then be able to tag any products. And if Instagram influencer affiliate program doesn't allow you to tag, like let's say Louis Vuitton, right, as a top brand, and you really feel. And you really want to represent that brand, for example, we have that brand in our database. We actually have thousands of brands that I would say our database is probably 100 times bigger than what the Instagram's affiliate programs can provide. And not just that, we want to give influencer the freedom to tag an Amazon product, to tag a Shopify product, to tag a Like to Know It product. Right. Yes.
And I think that part is also, I keep saying, this is gold, because it is. But I think that's another part that doesn't exist, right? It's like when you look at an influencer and their life, and they have a regular, normal life, right? They go shopping, they buy things, they have a home, oftentimes they have children, whatever it is. So they're buying things all the time. You're providing an opportunity for them to share as much as possible of what they're purchasing and where, helping people who are falling in love with whatever it is, be able to click the button to go and get it, right?
And I don't want to mention the name of the brand because we work with all these top brands in the past, and we know that some of the top brands in the past, I would say 5 years ago, their influencer marketing budget is 5%, and now it's like 75%. So that just means how powerful influencers are. But most of you guys, either is just taking these bits from brands. You don't even know how you can monetize yourself. You're taking these, you're making posts passively from brands. But there's all these products you already feel so passionate about. You can't talk about them because even if you talk about them, you don't get paid. Right. So our program is allowing anyone to talk about anything you like, and make money from it.
Yeah.
So also,
especially because people are going to buy it anyways, right?
Yes.
Like for instance, I have a tiny page, as I mentioned, and that mug, right? I've put that mug on my stories before. I've bought it as gifts. So everybody following along on my small page knows and has seen that. And so here I'm posting about it. The link, you guys showed me how to do it. Link was right on it. You touch it, it goes straight to the mug. And that's why they sold, right? It's something that I'm already using and excited about, and you provided a way for me to make a small commission. But for a high-level influencer, we're not talking about small dollars. We are talking about a lot of money where they have built something that they have monetized in a sustainable, profitable, even six-figure income. And My is providing the opportunity to double what they're already making, if not triple.
I would say more than triple at this point, because we have experience working with influencers in China with TikTok. One of our influencers only have 400,000 followers, and she was selling $3 million worth of products in 1 month.
Wow.
But I do want to mention 80% of her profit was actually coming from live stream.
Right, which is really interesting. I love that you brought that up in this, because I think it's something that, just like you said, it's definitely not common knowledge here in the States. And
we're getting there, though.
Yeah, and you're a part of that process, right? What you've created to help.
We have seen
people.
what it looks like from the top of the mountain, and right now we're just like, it's actually easier once you know how it works on the top than to get all that information knowledge to people who in the middle tier or at the bottom. So it is true. Right now we only work with really big influencers who have a track record, but I think, Angela, you're actually one person who inspired me to work with micro-influencers.
That's true, because I'm so passionate about that. I didn't stop talking about it. But let's talk about, before we segue to that though, right now the model is high-level influencers will be able to apply for the VIP club, and they'll have this really, I think, white glove experience so far as you're building out, and as the company grows, there'll be digital models and things to help them. But basically, it's not just about creating a place for them to sell things, but there's going to be help and coaching, right? There's some other, when we talk about Instagram affiliate, right? There's no one for them to talk to. They're not going to send an email and get a response back for help right away when something's wrong with their account. How you're building the company is to get on to touch all the high points, anything that you can anticipate that an influencer may need a solution or an answer for when you're looking at having hundreds of influencers with your company. You're building something where it's easy for them to get what they need, it's easy for them to get help, and it's easy for them to scale astronomically if they want to, right?
Definitely. We're basically removing all the frictions. So even for Instagram, they're struggling with, getting more influencers involved themselves. They're only approving a small set of influencer for the Instagram affiliate, and also approving a small set of brands to be able to onboard this affiliate. So they're launching this feature really slow, but it's understandable because they're a social media platform. They don't really know how to do commerce that well. And Amazon have similar friction. They are an e-commerce platform. They don't really know how to do social, and they don't know how to get their products on top of the social posts. And for influencers, struggle is like, you guys are busy. Many of them have kids, you have a life, and you have to post content. There's so many things you're already dealing with. How do you get information to connect everything together? So we're basically here to remove all the frictions from social media side, from commerce side, and make it super easy for influencers so they can really make their content instantly shoppable.
I love that. And so secondary from that, which the topic we're going to kind of wrap up with, is where you were going with our conversations about micro-influencers, and a second opportunity that will be coming soon if you're not a high-level influencer. We'll touch on that just a little bit, but what I want to say now is stay tuned for more on that as it develops, because we'll do another video to talk more about it. But will you share a little bit about what if you don't have 1 million, 2 million, 600 million?
Yeah, so we noticed that even though big influencers have a lot more fans, but actually the question they ask is very similar to the questions that micro influencers ask. There's so the big influencer, we give them a free onboarding. Because we know how much they can sell. But for micro influencers, we're aggregating all these materials, tutorials. So we're gonna start like boot camp. I think it's going to be more like an online boot camp. Yeah. So people can sign up. We might even have a summer boot camp to help micro-influencer to how to kick off their own, social commerce business, how to find, the right product to represent them, to put in their shop so they can make organic, additional revenue they previously don't have access to.
Yeah. This is something, as you already know, I'm really passionate about, and this is something I'm really excited about. And here's why. I believe, and there's plenty of studies and statistics to prove, that micro-influencers build trust. So they're in the community, they know people in real life, people see them, and they work with local brands or they work with trusted brands. And that is a really powerful organic sales tool, right? But micro-influencers are selling all the time and they don't even know that they are. So I really have talked for a long time about how I feel like there's this market for micro-influencers that is really untapped. They're kind of figuring out on their own, figuring out as they go. They're not gonna work with an agency because they're not that level. They're not really selling anything on their page and they don't know that they can. And I have talked about this till I'm blue in the face with a lot of micro-influencers that I'm connected with, teaching them and showing them how they can monetize in an organic way. Still their organic content, but also having the opportunity to make money so they can keep doing that more. Many of them are just spending thousands of dollars, sharing their life, spending their time, and there's no revenue coming back. So I'm a super fan of the bootcamp model, and I'm really excited to see how you build that out. I think that what is powerful about that is it's going to be a membership model, right, where micro-influencers pay for a membership, and there's no other opportunity for them to do that. So there'll be tutorials and there'll be coaching, and they'll have that help so that for those who apply, who are already, like you said, consistent, they have high engagement, and there's really an opportunity for them to grow what they're already doing, all the time and money that they've invested, and turn it into something for their livelihood. The secondary program, the boot camp, is going to provide an opportunity for them to apply and to be able to be educated. And I think that it'll function sort of like a coaching program. Yes. And I'm really, really excited to see how that develops. And I'll be sticking around for that. And of course, I'll be joining myself and telling all my friends to sign up. But I think for those, what is so cool about that is, as I mentioned before, working with influencers at different level. For a high-level influencer, I've created something that I know my friends who are higher level influencers, this, especially for ones that are already selling successfully on Amazon, like to know at places like that, I know personally that you're solving problems that they're already facing, and I'm really excited about that. But secondary, most of who I'm close with in my everyday life are micro-influencers, or they don't even know that they're micro-influencers, but they are, right? You're also providing an opportunity for them to understand what it is they're doing and why, and how they can do it better, and how they can take it from just fun and a hobby to something that could really change their life. And I think that that's powerful. I'm really excited about and where things are going. I'm excited to be kind of a part of getting to help in these little ways and beta test in the beginning. You've been a very fun beta tester. I love how the tech team's always laughing when when I come in and I've got like all the excitement, over one little thing, and I'm bringing that energy for sure. Yeah, first of all, I love your shop. I love, the products you pick and your favorites. They really represent you. Yeah. Things I use every day. And I think that's when it comes to high-level influencer, or when we look at micro-influencers, sometimes both of them don't realize how much they use in their everyday life that people see on social. And for me, it's more in real life, right? That you have those things already that you've purchased, or you purchased them for gifts. It's really fun to be able to have a place on your social media where you can share things that you love and people have easy access to them with a click of a button. And most people don't know, like some people think like being an influencer is a hobby, which is totally not true. No, just like you said, the influencer marketing budget of companies, right? For the past number of years now, it's the best way to invest your marketing dollars. It's the most lucrative industry. That's why I'm in this industry. I used to do finance, which is high frequency trading used to be the most lucrative industry. And I was, the first person who joined that industry. We were making, 200,000 every single day, just getting that little time differences between this market and that market, and, algorithmically, just take that, arbitrage. But it seems like a really easy money, but I would say nowadays the easy money is being an influencer. Yeah, especially when you have strategy and education, because I think that really what the main problem is with companies, right, brands and companies and influencers at any level, is everyone doesn't really know what they're doing. They're figuring out as they go. I think as Amai really gets its roots under it here, like it did in China, it's going to be a place that is known for educating and building influencers and then bridging the gap of partnerships to brands and even manufacturers, eliminating the nonsense and the noise, right, so that everybody can be successful. And I'm so excited to see where this goes. It's been really fun so far to be involved.
Thank you. Yeah, I really think, out of our boot camp and the VIP club, I want to see some, super successful examples, which we have seen, we have been able to create. People don't know that in China, the biggest influencer, their valuation, the money this net worth, is higher than 90% of the companies that IPO'd on NASDAQ.
That's unbelievable.
People don't know that though.
No,
people think that influencer, because in the past it's true, influencer is more like a hobby.
Yeah.
But now, influencer it's the most lucrative industry. And I've known influencers who have only a couple 100,000 followers in the US. And then, they're able to feed their, the commission they earn is able to feed the entire family and put all the kids to college.
Right.
So
they're rolling with six-figure incomes from learning how to monetize their social media. And I think that, there's also a lot of talk, and we'll talk about this in another video, but I'll touch on it. There's a lot of conversations about, intentional growth, organic growth, purchased growth. I think that the real truth is that if you have a platform, right, on social media, people are watching. They love the things you like. They're there on purpose. They want to do the things you're doing, have the things you're having, because they see how it enhances your life and they believe that it will enhance theirs. And in one way or another, that's true, right? But the power is given to the consumer. They're watching, they get to decide, is that real, is that true, is that person really using it? And then they can decide for themselves whether to buy it. But now, with the way that Mai is building and the way you'll help influencers build, it's just clicking a button, going straight to where the product is, and eliminating the noise.
Definitely.
For the consumer and the influencer.
I think the timing is really great right now, like with Instagram and TikTok just launched these integration, but most influencers don't know how to even apply, and
or that they
it's very complicated. Yes, so we take care of everything. We take care of the application. Then we also have a huge, tens of millions of product database for influencers to choose from. So all that is like it doesn't exist previously. So we're the first one, but we also get really well trained in Asia. During the COVID days, the last few years. We launched with top influencers in Asia, through TikTok, through Instagram, and we're seeing how much money people can make. And actually, the top influencers don't do ads anymore. They don't represent a brand and just talk about it, because your fans know, your followers know, you're just, okay, you got paid by another brand.
Exactly.
And it doesn't make them look too good. Then you actually lose authenticity.
Agreed.
But when the influencers say, hey, I've been using this product and I really love this product, that's how you establish authenticity.
Yeah.
So
that's
actually,
in my shop.
Exactly.
Right? I'm using it day to day.
Yes.
And at any level of influence, right? That's why, going back to my tiny page, the mug sold, right? Is because I really use that. People know that I use that. And the shop that had them here locally closed, right? And so people couldn't get them. And I think at a higher level, where somebody's using maybe an appliance in their kitchen every single day that they love, people have access now to be able to purchase it, but they believe it. There's so much that we won't go into today, but I'm looking forward to the website and social media educating people on things they see on social that are organic and real and things that aren't. But what we're talking about here today is influencers at whatever level that use products in their everyday life that they're already talking about, that they're already purchasing with their own dollars, being able to monetize on that. This is marketing, right? Just like if you're going to pay for print advertising, marketing. You're going to pay for billboards, you're going to pay for radio, right? Your marketing dollars are going somewhere to get your product out, right? But influencers are eliminating some of those things by getting the products out themselves.
Yes.
Why shouldn't they be getting a return on that?
Exactly. And to be honest, like I started my Markable 7 years ago. Initially, we actually was a technology company because at that time you cannot tag a product on social media. So we provided technology, for multiple huge social media companies in the world to allow them to be able to tag products. So, I cannot express how excited I am now. Finally, all these social media decided to allow influencers to tag products recently. Happened very recently. And but unfortunately, the process is super complicated. And they are starting from, the top influencers, and they realize something is not working, then they try to fix it internally before they launch to more. Right. So right now, 99% of influencers don't have access to this. And that's why we're like, you know what, we figured out a way that you don't have to be the top 1%. And if you're top 1%, you don't have a better way to monetize. We can remove all the frictions as well.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited about where this is going. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joy.
Yeah.
More to come, right? So we're going to be doing more videos together. We'll do another recap in a couple of weeks of where things are at. But in the meantime, there'll be some on the website and on social, some more video content kind of explaining and going a little deeper into a few of the things we talked about today, but also getting to give you guys an example of we'll talk about things like my mug, go a little deper into what happened on my page with the mugs. Like what did I do and how did that work?
How did you tag it?
Yeah,
yes.
how did I tag it? And then what happens? And I think one of the things that's so fun, and I didn't think about this, but when I first shared the mugs, I was here with Joy, and I put it up on my stories, and while we were here, some mugs sold. And I got a question in the DMs, and it was, hey, where can I go to actually get this product somewhere else so you don't have to deal with the shipping? And I was able to say, I don't deal with the shipping. You just click the button, buy the things, and My takes care of it. And I was able to say that, and it was really true. And then right away, she bought 3 mugs. And so we're going to be sharing more fun content like that in shorter video clips, and you'll be able to access that on social media and on their website over the next 2 months.
Sounds good.
Okay, so fun.
Hey.
Thanks, Joy. See ya.